Here's Albert Breer, who again got to sit down with Sean. He's talking to Rich Eisen about it.
I had a unbelievable conversation with Sean Payton on Saturday about identifying quarterbacks and what he thinks people do wrong. And, I remember talking to the Broncos a year ago, and this is not with the benefit of having seen how the season played out.
Right.
I was told last summer the Broncos' top two quarterbacks in last year's quarterback class were Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. That's, again, without the benefit of knowing how the season's going to play out. Mm-hmm. And so I had a good conversation with Sean about IDing quarterbacks. And he gave me all these different numbers that they look at that are a little bit different. And then he said, and the biggest stat we look at was sacks. Sacks is a quarterback stat. And he said, like, when you see a high sack number, what do? You blame the line. It's like, it's not the line's fault. He's like, in most cases, it's not. It's the quarterback's fault. And, he dove into, like, how Bo Nix was, like, had historically low sack numbers. Jaden Daniels had very low sack numbers at LSU. He's like, it informs you on his ability to process, his ability to see the field, his instincts, his ability to move and then get the ball out on time. It tests all of those at once. And he had one of his analytics guys, go back and do a study over the last 30 years, right? Said, can you find a college quarterback who was sacked a lot, who then went to the pros and wasn't sacked very much in the pros? And they couldn't find one. So, like, there's just this stuff with Bo where Sean thinks everybody missed the boat on him.
Interesting. Tyler, what do you think? That's kind of cool stuff, though.
Well, I guess that definitively answers the question earlier in the show. Would Sean Payton be interested in Shedeur Sanders? What he's saying is,
no way.
Hey, once a quarterback that gets sacked a lot, always a quarterback that gets sacked a lot. I mean, look, obviously, I'm going to use Scott's favorite word here. I'm biased about sack numbers, but I mean, he's not wrong. Look, there are times that an offensive lineman just gets their butt whipped, and that's a sack, right? But like when I was playing out in Washington, I can't tell you the amount of games that we would have 5-6 sacks in a game. And the offensive line would grade out at like a 95%, right? And you're like, well, the TV now, Chris Collinsworth is calling me the worst tackle in America. Mm-hmm. He's calling Chris Chester the worst guard in America. Well, how about you know a little bit about ball and realize who's to be blamed here? So I think the Bo Nix did prove that in year one. Whatever he saw in college football, I do think translated into his first year in terms of doing a good job of not getting sacked.
Let me ask you this, too, and I agree with you 100%. And that was a knock on Shedeur. He was always trying to make the play, and he puts a whole lot of pressure on the offensive line because he's not taking that short look. He's always dump it or run. Dump it or run. I mean, first option, second option, go. And then what they tell him, like, first option, second option, go.
Especially in college.
Yeah, the pressure's coming. So, and he didn't do it. He held on, always looking downfield, always. Okay, I get you on that. But there's also some times where the pressure does come. Guy gets beat kind of quick, get a sack. Okay, that's on the offensive line. But there's interceptions too. I get beat out of the pocket. Now I'm trying to make a play on the run that I can't make or don't make greatly. That's because of pressure. Now, it's still the decision of the quarterback. So where do you point the blame there?
It's a really interesting thing to think that getting sacked a lot in college does translate to getting sacked a lot as a pro. I would not have thought of that.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. But it does make sense if you are to say it's really not about your offensive line. It's about how you, quarterback, process things.
Yep.
Fascinating.
And 90% of it is pre-snap. It's what's going on in your brain pre-snap. Did you properly identify the coverage? Do you already know where that ball needs to go? Do you see the adjustments? Do you know what your hot route is? All those things are pre-snap evaluations.
All right, let me throw something past you. Ben Roethlisberger would get sacked a lot.
Yeah.
But he would because he would hang in there and he wasn't a running quarterback. Are there exceptions to that rule too? That's what I guess I would ask Sean Payton.
Meaning, can you be a good quarterback and get sacked a lot?
Correct. Because maybe a sack is not the worst thing. It's not a turnover.
I don't think you're going to find many of them. I mean, Ben's a good example. You're right. He got sacked all the time. And I know offensive linemen that played for him, and it was frustrating. But how many more can you think of?
I would guess Eli Manning got sacked a lot. I would guess Peyton probably got sacked quite a bit, but I don't know that. But Payton was a really good processor and had a very quick release and would make judgments. He would self-sack a lot. if the play just wasn't happening, he would just say,
No.
I'm just going to lay down here.
Better to take a sack and have another play than to throw something up and get picked.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, a sack is bad, but a turnover's worse.
So, I mean, obviously longevity plays into this, but this is really fascinating. The top 4 most sacked quarterbacks in the history of the NFL.
You're going to throw Tom Brady in there too.
He's number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is number 1.
Okay.
Russell Wilson is number 3.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then Big Ben is number 4.
Okay.
Brett Favre is 5. John Elway is number 6.
Look at that. You got it. See, that is tricky because
how many championships in that top 6 list?
All of them have got one. Every single one of them.
You know what Sean would say though? It's not about the total; it's about the percentage of dropbacks to sacks. Though that's where his numbers were at.
Then I would say with Elway for sure. Who else was in that list?
So Aaron Rodgers, he's got one. Tom Brady, he got all of them. Russell Wilson's got one. Ben Roethlisberger's got one. Brett win one?
Yeah, Brett Favre
won one.
Year before the Broncos won.
And then John Elway.
See, now I would
and then
say,
Matthew Stafford's right after.
I would say for Elway that he probably didn't have as many drop back pass opportunities as Aaron Rodgers.
Right, so you got to kind of.
I've got that's kind of interesting. I've got the numbers.
Well, we'll give those.
It's pretty close. Aaron Rodgers has got 8,200 attempts. Elway had 7,200. So not that far off.
1,000.
What you got to do though is you got to figure out the percentage.
Tom Brady's got 12,000.
Wow.
So actually, I got the percentages.
Well, that would be the more defining thing.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers is 65. Wait, what does that mean?
Passes to
It'd be a lower
number.
I'm
sorry. That's his completion percentage. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What it's the numbers that Sean was using is
how many times were you sacked and how many times you pass attempted?
Correct.
And you'd probably have to take the sacks and add it to the pass attempts for your total number and then divide that by the percentage.
Exactly. And the lower the number, the better. So it's about, listen, a sack is bad. And what Sean pointed out in that Albert Breer column, I read the column, what he wrote about, is what a sack leads to. If it's not a turnover, it's a down and distance that's going to be hard to convert a first down. So at the end of the day, that's why a sack is so powerful, because it more or less, it won't necessarily stop the offense right then and there, but it'll stop them eventually, probably in that drive.
So this is pretty fascinating. Russell Wilson has given up 560 sacks. Tom Brady, 565. So they're number 2 and 3 on the list,
but what
right?
are the dropbacks?
Yeah.
12,000
okay.
to probably like 8,000, isn't it?
Take a guess.
Well, you just said 12,000 for Tom.
Right.
So for Russ,
6,500.
Half?
6,001.
Wow.
So with half as many attempts, he's got 5 less sacks than Tom Brady.
That's horrible. Oh, God, no wonder Sean hated him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's insane.